So all these images that you're seeing were taken straight out of camera with no editing. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to enjoy taking travel photos and no need to waste time on post-processing. I'll show you examples of each creative look and my personal favorites, and how you can save these to your camera so you can spend more time shooting and enjoy your holiday or vacation. So firstly, what are Sony creative looks, also known as creative styles? Just think of them as essentially as built-in presets for your JPEG photos. A bit like how Fujifilm have Fuji recipes, these are just the Sony alternatives. Now I will be showing you all the creative styles from the Sony a6700, and this will be part of the newer Sony camera menu system. There is Sony creative looks or styles on the Sony a6400, however some of these might be missing from the newer cameras. However, I will link a video to one I've done on my other channel in the description box down below. So why should you be using Sony creative looks over editing? Firstly, there's nothing wrong with editing. However, when you do go on holiday or vacation, you are time limited. You don't want to be going out capturing photos, then coming back to the hotel room to edit all your photos. Especially if you want to share some of your photos that you've captured on the go with family and friends, it's much quicker and easier to use a creative look that has something built in, and you can just send it via Bluetooth from your camera to your smartphone and then just share it with your family or friends, or even on social media. Some people really enjoy editing, others just want to capture and go. But these creative looks are a blessing for travel photography. There's been plenty of times when I'm out going for a photo walk, just like a lovely day today, and because I shoot both JPEG and RAW, if I want to share a photo on the go, I can just send that JPEG to my phone and then share it to social media to say, hey, today we're going to be covering X, Y, Z. It just makes it so much faster than having to go home, take out the SD card, plug it into the computer, offload everything to Lightroom and edit. Like, it is an enjoyable process, but I feel for travel photography, it's a lot quicker to use Sony creative styles. And there is so many to choose from. In fact, there's 10, so let me show you. So there are actually several looks, and the great thing is the Sony cameras have a description made for each of the certain scenarios, and you can even customize these further if you want more control over the look. Ideally, you want to spend time with your camera and find a look that you like. And then if you want to dive into further, you can make more refinements onto these. The ones on the Sony a6700 are standard, which is just a versatile default look for various scenes. You have a portrait mode, which is self-explanatory really. It's for portrait. It has softened skin tones and textures. You have a neutral look that lowers saturation and sharpness. There is a vivid look, which increases contrast and saturation for bright and colorful scenes. You have a vivid 2, which is actually one of the new ones on the Sony cameras, which produces high clarity and vibrant bright images. There's also an FL, which is actually very popular amongst other content creators, and it adds a moody cinematic feel with enhanced contrast, and in some cases a warmer amber tone. You have an instant, which creates a matte look and a low saturation look. You have SH for soft high key and produces a bright, transparent and soft gentle mood. And then the final two would be a black and white, which is a monochrome look. And this is again down to personal preference if you want to go for black and white. And then sepia, not really a big fan of this one. However, for those who want it, it's there. I think 10 is a good amount of looks to have, because otherwise you're going to be overwhelmed with choice. And the whole point is just to find a couple that you like and just then focus more on capturing the moments, focusing on your composition, focusing on light. So as today is actually a really nice day, and I wanted to come out today to capture the sample photos so I can show you. However, even before this, I've already saved to my camera my favorites. So my favorite creative looks that I use the most, that I have on mode dial 2 and 3, would be Vivid and IN, for instance. Most of the time, I like Vivid a lot. It's very Mediterranean, bright, saturated colors. I think it just fits the vibe a lot and it appeals to many people. However, if I wanted a different look, more of a matte finish, that IN, that instant one, is really nice. It's just something different, something that you don't usually see, a little bit washed out. The others are cool. I really do like FL, but I don't think it's as appropriate all the time, especially when it comes to portraits. I have taken some samples here. I feel like there's a little bit too much sharpness, and you can see that especially in the skin. So you may want to customize that one and drop the sharpness and contrast down just to soften the skin a bit, or using maybe a mist filter to help soften skin tones as well. But those are like my personal favorites. I recommend you actually go out with your camera that you have, whether it's a Sony or a Fuji or a Canon, and play around with the inbuilt presets that come with that camera, and just find something that you like. Pick a couple, you don't need to go crazy, and just save them to your camera. And that's how I'm going to show you now with the Sony, and that way you can just flick between the dial, between the two presets, and that way you can take better travel photos without the need for editing. To access the Sony creative looks on the Sony a6700, if you click the menu button here, and then we scroll all the way down to the pink menu where it says exposure and color, and if we scroll all the way down to color and tone, you will see creative looks, and this is where you can select them. However, this is really long-winded. I suggest to put this into your function menu, just as I have here, and that way you can click into the creative look from your function menu and select them. Or even quicker, once you select function menu, just use the scroll wheel to switch between the different creative looks. In order to do that, if we just click on the main menu and we scroll all the way down to setup, and then we go to operation and customize, and then when we see function menu settings, here is when you can select the creative look to be part of your function menu, and you can select that wherever in your box, so you can select any one of these boxes on how you want to set that up. Alternatively, you can use a shortcut button as well. However, I think the function menu makes the most sense here. What I like to do is where it says 1, 2, and 3, you can have your camera set up already predetermined by switching between these. So for instance, in mode dial 2, I have it already in aperture priority. I have my recognition target set up, my focus menu set up. If you want to deep dive into that for the Sony a6700, just let me know in the comment section down below. But as you can see, I already have the creative look already built into this, shooting JPEG and RAW. And to save this, all you need to do is hit the menu button, and we go down to shooting mode, and then where it says shooting mode here, we can go camera set menu, and then you can just save it to 1, 2, or 3. And you can see I have already the settings predetermined. So now that you know what Sony creative styles are and how you can save them to your camera, here are some pro tips to how to take better photos straight out of camera. Firstly is make sure to nail your exposure. There's a cat over there licking itself. Just look at this. This is actually hilarious. He's found the spot. So now that you know what Sony creative looks or styles are, you probably have an idea of which one you're leaning towards as well. Here are some pro tips to get better photos straight out of the camera. And starting with nailing your exposure. The last thing that you want is picking your favorite style and all of a sudden your photo is overexposed or underexposed and you can't really share it because it's ruined. So make sure you check the multimeter at the bottom of your camera to say whether it's correctly exposed. And if it is a bright sunny day or you're shooting into the light, maybe you're having a little bit of a silhouette, maybe you want to bring down your exposure so you underexpose the image to protect those highlights. The next thing here is lighting. Do you want to shoot during the middle of the day where it's quite harsh and then you're going to get really strong contrast, which is completely fine? Or do you want to shoot during softer light, like sunrise or sunset, where it's not so harsh the light and you're also going to get nicer colors as well? I would also focus on your composition. Are you going to use the rule of thirds to compose your shot, framing your subject? And the next thing is to enjoy yourself. Just go and just capture memories. Do you see a Cyprus cat that you want to capture, and before they come up to you to say to hello, you want to try and capture that as a memory for where you've been and how nice the Cyprus cats are? At the end of the day, you can always shoot both RAW and JPEG as well. So that way you have photos that you can share straight out of camera. And also if you want to try a little bit of editing as well, you can try that when you get home. And the great part is that let's say you forgot to save your preset on your camera, in Lightroom, you can actually use the built-in presets in Lightroom to use those ones in future. So if you do forget, you can do this in Lightroom as well. Or just keep it simple, stick to JPEGs and enjoy taking travel photos on your vacation. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe for more travel photography content. And if you ever visit Cyprus and you want to explore the island through photography, then check the links in the description box down below. I've also included a free photo spots guide for inspiration. YouTube recommends you watch this video next, or you could check out one of our POV photography videos here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Cyprus soon.